But good to see you again. Missed having you guys in here last Monday. I mean, I did. We were out on the road, but had a great productive week coming off of the open week. Again, kids get a chance to get fresh. Coaches get a chance to get a little fresh as well, even though we're on the road. Bostic gave me all kinds of homework to do on my open week. I was like, there's no open week. There's no off weeks. We're working as many hours as we were in normal weeks, but just maybe in different spots or different focus. But, I think, one of the things, just going back to the last game, we had 26 guys get in on the offense side of the ball, which is a lot. Played a lot of guys, 31 on defense. I mean, you're almost talking about 3 deep in both those, you're getting your 3 deeps in there, and that's huge. We had 52 guys playing on special teams. We had different guys, all over the place, which is good. It gives those kids experience, stuff that we can work on because you never know when you're going to need them. You look at Shadarian Drip Harrison comes down on the kickoff team. I think it might be his first snap of the year, and he gets a big hit inside the 20-yard line. Things like that you just kind of go, oh, he's a gamer. It was good to see and get those guys out there. But now we're getting ready for UNC, and last game was way behind us 2 weeks ago. I'm sure you guys don't have any questions on that one. But Mac Brown, obviously a talented football team across the board from the D-line back to the back end. Offensively skilled, but Mac got a ton of respect for him. Not only as a football coach, but as a person. One of my favorite guys as we go down and just talk and meet with throughout the years. So Mac's an incredible guy. On offense, Chip Lindsey's our offense coordinator. Again, I think he does a heck of a job on offense. I don't know him personally. Like their defense coordinator, but I think Chip does a great job. I mean, I think they're good. Everybody will want to talk about 2 weeks ago and their loss and all that, and I think everybody forgets they put up 50 on them too. And James Madison's a talented football team, as we all know. So it's not like it's the sisters from the poor that they were playing against. I mean, any given week, you guys know with the transfer portal, you can have a football team that goes out there and gets it done. But they're talented on offense. The Jacoby Crins, let me get it right here, make sure I don't mess it up too bad. Criswell, number 12, is talented. Guy that's been at North Carolina, transferred to Arkansas, came back again. He's got a cannon arm. We're gonna have to change things up on him. He can put it in small windows. I think he's really, really good. He does a nice job. Marion Hampton, their tailback in the backfield, he's a beast. He's 220 pounds. Someone that we'll have to focus on as you're trying to stop the run as far as he goes. Their tight ends, Nesbitt and Koppenhaver, are both talented. Number 18, number 81. You'll see them all over the place. You can get their numbers mixed up, 18, 81, either way. But like those two guys, and we're probably going to see more 12 personnel, 2 tight ends in a game, which is smart on their part. I think they had a heavy dose of it last week, like 35 snaps of it, getting their best personnel in the game. So again, offensively, they do a great job. J.J. Jones, one of the receivers is a dude as well. So they got them all over the place. They're talented defensively. Same thing. If you just look at their defensive line, they are talented up front for sure. Ritzy, their D tackle, Power Eccles at linebacker, Ontavious Lane is their best safety, but they make a lot of plays. And Jeff Collins obviously is their defense coordinator, former head coach at Georgia Tech. So they do some great stuff and change it up. And again, it's not easy defending people nowadays. I can tell you that. So open it up for questions.
You watched the Duke Carolina game. What went right for Carolina in the first half, and what did from your observation, what didn't work as well?
Does anybody care what my observation? This is a great question for Bostic, maybe at the radio show later on in the week. I think it's a game of football we're in. I mean, I'd like to give you a detailed answer, but I'm probably not going to share that with you. But it's a game of football. You got to come out 60 minutes, and whatever changed. Where you can look at the coverage. That maybe Duke was seeing that they didn't see in the first half or in the first part of the season. They played against. I mean, there's all kinds of things. And how did you come out? I feel like sometimes we come out in the third quarter flat. Okay, did North Carolina? I'm not going to say what it is. I mean, who knows? I mean, what happens when we have issues? I mean, you never know. You can't put your finger on it. If you could, you'd fix it real quick and be done with it. But, it's a 60-minute game. You got to come out and play for 4 quarters, and that's what happened.
They also play better on defense. What did they do?
Who played better on defense? I'm sorry.
North Carolina.
Is that your opinion? See, just ask Jerry. He was talking to me. So,
They have 70 points one week and 21 the next.
okay, you're going from one week to another. Yeah, I mean,
I'm talking about what they did different against Duke that they didn't do against James.
Yeah. You're asking me that question? You already know.
Well, points I know, but what about schematically, personnel?
Again, like I said, North Carolina's a talented football team. They got players, but guess what? The other teams do too. We're going to bring in some talented players as well this week. James Madison's talented. Duke's, undefeated, so it's not like they got beat by a poor Duke team. And again, it was a football game. Just like you go to the Miami game. I mean, there's talent all over the place, and every week it's a battle, and you don't know who's going to win it, and you got to play 60 minutes, and it's about the game. The inches, the details of the game, and again, whether it's tackling or coverage or whatever it is, you have to get it down.
North Carolina's the top rushing team in the ACC right now. What do you guys have to shore up against what they like to do to get going up front?
They're getting their power back downhill. I mean, he's powerful, he's explosive. He can, they got a great screen game. I think. I mean, they do a great job in the screen with their tailbacks as well as getting it on the edge. And I don't particularly think we've been great versus screen. So we focused on that last night in practice, and again, it'll be a focus again tomorrow when we step on the field. Is their screen game and obviously the run game, but. They got they're heavy double team up front with their guys. A lot of what I'd call insert plays and ISOs, and just trying to get moving our D tackles. I think would be the main thing. So again, they're going to get O'Marion downhill and let him go. They're going to run outside zone. So we just got to stop the run like our intent is every Saturday. But it'll be a little harder. This guy reminds you a lot of a Kiner that we played at Cincinnati. He's a big physical guy, and you got to get him on the ground. He breaks a lot of tackles.
PJ had that targeting penalty in the second half and missed the first half. Is it going to be all on Donovan and Javon to fill the form, or can Cruz stay back?
Yeah, Stephen. Cruz is definitely. He'll be. In the first half, he'll be playing for both spots. We'll see how he practices at both, but. We got a ton of confidence in Cruz. It's just going to be his. It'll be the window open for him to be the next guy, and he's made plays this year already. And we think that. You better watch out because he goes out there and lights it up. He may be seen more and more time as the year goes on.
As physical as they'll want to be up front, how do you feel like your defensive line has progressed through non-conference play?
They're okay. I mean, I would imagine they're looking at the tape going, oh, we like this. We like our matchups. We're not gigantic inside. So we have to do a good job at getting our guys in the right spots and moving them the right way. Get some movement going up front. But probably like normal. We just gotta show up and play.
You talked about how your defense, you're all about attacking. Penetrate, your defensive line wants to penetrate before anything else, and your linebackers are often flying to the spot with all that. Are there extra checks that you put in when you're facing a team that wants to hit you with those screens where they catch you kind of slipping through the line and out of position, and then they just throw it over your head?
Yeah, you got to. I mean, that's the game of football, right? Whether it's in a drop back pass a game. I mean, to me, they can run the ball. They can throw the ball. They got receivers down the field. Whether it's Nesbitt or J.J. Jones, and then they got they can throw it out on the edge. So it'll limit how much pressure you can really go with because they're gonna they're dangerous on the edge now. They're really good at the screen game.
You'll obviously self-scout after every game. Did you have a little bit extra time to self-scout this week and last week? And what did you find out?
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you what I found out, but we do a lot of self-scout, but we do it weekly. I mean, as you're watching, a team, you're like, oh, let's go back. What have we seen? I mean, so it's a constant every week. So it's not just a, hey, we had an extra couple of days because you really don't have any extra days. You're continuing to work on the next opponent, and you're on the road recruiting, looking for that next class and holding on to your current class. But, you're constantly always looking at what, has happened to you in the past. So we're in there watching a certain, style of run that they run and going, hey, let's go back and look and see what we look like in this play. What are we giving up, in that concept. So you're constantly doing that, whether it's looking at what we do on third down, what's successful, what's not been successful. So you're constantly doing that. And I can't tell you we've done any more this week than we normally would, during the week.
Pitt is yet to win a game in Chapel Hill. Is there a different mindset, a different way to prepare the guys going into a place that's not been too kind to you guys?
Not really. I mean, it's a one-game season. We're going on the road. The field's no different. They got different colors, different logo. But what's happened in the past has no effect on what will happen Saturday. You got to go out and play. It's one between the lines, not anything that happened in the past.
This is a conference game. You find the guys a little more intense maybe than they might have been.
I haven't seen them a lot. We had a meeting yesterday, but I would imagine they're cranked up for it. But I hope they were cranked up for last week and the week before. But it's just another game. It just happens to be in the ACC, and we want to get that first ACC one under our belt if we can. So I'd imagine as we get closer to game time, they'll be excited about going on the road and playing in the ACC.
Did you have 2 practices last week?
We had 2 last week and then 1 yesterday. Yep. So we got some extra time to focus on them. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes that's bad. I don't know.
You have been pressured among you've been one of the more pressured quarterbacks in college football. What did you guys have to do as far as an offensive line and overall protection units to protect you get better after a 5-5?
Yeah, I mean, there's no question we've got to, especially with the D-line we're going to face, it's going to be probably the best D-line we've faced to this point, in ACC play. We got to play with good technique up front, and we got to get the ball out quick and change it up. We got to change the launch point as far as, are we spreading out? What are we going to do? Are you running nakeds? A little bit of everything, but change the launch point and protect the quarterback. Pretty simple every week. That's our plan.
Have you been impressed with how Ryland and Rashad have played this season at quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been good. Has it been great? I don't know. We'll find out. I think when the ACC plays, there's a few guys out there with Taman as well as Rashad and Ryland Gandy. So all 3 of those guys have gotten a lot of reps. I was impressed with Tamari, and that was a heck of a catch. Crumply, for a pick 6 late in the game when they were throwing it there. So I was impressed with him as well. So it's like, does he have to get more time? So we'll see how he practices this week. But I've been good with all those guys. Am I great? Do I feel like we got locked down? We're gonna find out because Jacoby can throw a great deep ball.
Pat, you guys have been scoring at a very high pace. You're one of the best offenses in the ACC right now as far as how you're scoring. But what do you guys notice? Is there anything that you say, hey, we're doing this well, but we have to get this much?
Protect the quarterback. Okay, right? I mean, that's what you're talking about. You just you answered your own question with the last question. Is we got to do a better job protecting our quarterback, and I would say that's probably But we want to do. There's a lot of things we want to get better at.
How much of that is working harder at technique in practice versus maybe scheming up different ways to help players who maybe just not be performing well, but then the guys you got to go with?
A little bit of both. I mean, it's a little bit of both. It's schematics, like moving the launch point as far as where you're going. Don't put a big red X. That's where he is all the time. So it comes down to schematics, and it comes down to fundamentals, which we worked on last week as well. I mean, that's what an open week is to kind of clean up some things. You're not focused on a team at that point, but even though we were, but we had more fundamental time last week and went against each other a little bit more.
How have you seen Eli handle that pressure? I mean, it's a lot. You guys are undefeated, and he's made a lot of plays in his face. But are there things that you want him to do better to help with that, or do you think he's handled it as well as he could?
I think it's he's a redshirt freshman. He's still a baby, and I think we expect a lot out of him. I think he's done a heck of a job so far. But you don't get evaluated on what you did the last 4 games. You're going to get evaluated on what he does this Saturday at noon down in Chapel Hill.
You have a couple guys who are close, a couple freshmen who are close to playing in that 5th game. Not too many, but just a couple. Is that something you even consider anymore? I mean, is that just off your radar altogether?
I can't say it's off your radar, but kids want to play. Put it this way: I haven't had anybody in my office come and say, "Coach, I really just want a redshirt after 4 games." That hadn't happened, so they want to play. Whether it's Malachi, I'm trying to think of who else you're even thinking about. It's on our radar. We look at it, but it's not something I said, "Hey, don't play that guy." We're going to play whoever we can. Francis is in there doing a nice job. Jashir, we have got 2 baby D tackles in there that we don't see playing any less than what we're playing. Those are three that I can think of, true freshmen. Is there anybody else I'm missing? Sincere, like he's playing. So I get this. That's like there's a good reason why he's not. Or nobody's coming to talk to me because they're all playing. They know that they're in the too deep and they're rolling.
I would ask you about Daniel Carter after the game the other day. Through his transformation, his lost weight, it seems like he's quicker. What kind of impact did he make offensively for you guys?
You know, Daniel did a nice job. You know, as you go back and watch the videotape, he reads his blocks well. I mean, he understands what we're trying to get. Sometimes running back is not just getting the handoff and trying to make a play and find the hole, but he does a good job at just understanding what the whole scheme is offensively, where that ball needs to go and where he's cutting it back and how our offensive line and tight ends are blocking the run-up player. So he does a really good job. He understands. He's really smart. That's why he's so important to us on special teams because he's smart. And it's the same thing at running back. He's earned himself more playing time for sure.
You see Eli put in a whole lot of work off the field coming in here tonight.
He's in there right now. He's in the receiver room. I could take you for a walk in there. He's in there with all the receivers right now watching tape. But yeah, he puts a lot of time in.
Sean had a nice touchdown run at the end against that state game. When did he kind of make that transition to running back and what prompted that change?
We made it back in preseason camp. It just didn't seem like he was a wide receiver. But obviously he's got good hands because not only did he have a nice run, he had a nice catch. So I think all that time spent, at receiver, which he was a running back in high school as well. I think all the time spent as a receiver has helped his ball skills out of the backfield, which we like to throw it to our backs out of the backfield as well. And I've been impressed with him. I've been impressed since we moved him to that position. The last couple of weeks, he's had the best practices he's had. I think he can be a special back in this offense for us in the future. And again, he's earned himself some playing time as well, somehow, some way. How do you get them all out there? I don't know, because Desmond will be back too. I'm going to ask that question. Like I told you after the game, he could have been back last week, but it was kind of like he wasn't 100%, but he's 100% now.
You have a couple guys who haven't played at all this season, like Fitzsimmons or Goff. Mm-hmm. I mean, any closer on those guys? I mean, it's third of the way through the season.
I'm getting closer. I think Fitzy's almost back 100%, so I'd like to see 55 out there this week. So it'll be great to get him down. He looked pretty good last week. And then, Joel's, man, he's given us, fits on the scout team, as we call her rocks, but he's done a nice job down there too. He's fast, and he's going to be a special back as well. So he'll be back soon too. I mean, he's dressed up and ready to roll every day. So, and he dressed for the last, I think, 2 games as well.
Final one.
Did watching those 2021 Georgia Tech games give you much help this week?
Not really. Their defense has changed quite a bit. They're 4-3 right now, playing a lot of man free, playing a little bit of 2 and all that stuff. So they're playing quarters. I mean, quarter, half. So they're different. I mean, when he was the head coach down at Georgia Tech, they ran a lot of different schemes, and it seemed like their defense changed a little bit. There was times when he ran 3 deep safeties. I think I told you. So they're not doing that. But by year down there, they changed quite a bit. Which we haven't changed much in 10 years. They seem to have changed a lot down when he was at Georgia Tech. So there's not as much that you're looking at really.
I think he was here during camp last year, right? Did he come for a visit? Was he trying to learn your defense from him?
No, he wasn't trying to learn our defense. No, he was just coming to say, to making around. Sometimes when you got more free time than you ever, Jeff's a good man and a friend. But they came, he just came, popping around, seeing different places. Good man.